The Kawasaki Z H2, everybody. Welcome to our 2025 updated ride review of this motorcycle. This is the 2021 model, and I've had this bike now for nearly 4 years. This is my final year owning this bike, and man, what a journey we've had with her so far. In terms of the way she looks, I know that some people are saying she's an ugly bike, alright? The Z H2 for me just looks really modern. Very sharp edges, very sharp lines everywhere you look. They're all blended in absolutely perfectly. It kind of looks like a Decepticon. You know what I mean? A Transformer. It looks awesome. It looks mean. It looks like it means business. So today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the specs of this bike and take it out for a ride and see how it compares to those specs. What is the riding experience truly like of a motorcycle like this of epic proportions? And let's not forget that wicked supercharger. Oh, this bike is so sick. But as always, let's first take a little listen to the soundtrack of this bike. Now, of course, this Scorpion slip-on exhaust is aftermarket. The original exhaust does sound a little bit different. This sounds a hell of a lot better than the original exhaust, and it's significantly lighter, so that is something that we have to take into account here. Maybe afterwards what I'll do is I'll play a little clip of what the original exhaust sounded like. But let's have a little listen to see what this bike sounds like with that slip-on. Here we go. I love how mean this bike sounds, you know? Here we go. Woo-wee. Doesn't that exhaust sound great? It is legal, by the way. Funnily enough, it's been through an MOT with this exhaust. Oh, yeah, what a bike this is, man. This is just... This is a king, you know? This is the king or the emperor of motorcycles in so many ways. This is like peak Kawasaki motorcycles, and arguably peak full stop, you know, just peak bikes full stop. But alright, let's talk about ergonomics first and foremost. So this bike has got a slight lean forward, a slight little bit of sporty aggression to it, but for the most part it is very comfortable. It's a very neutral riding position there. But to be honest, the biggest issue that I find is actually with the seat. I did do quite a long journey with this bike, well over 100 miles, and I had to take a break about halfway through, about 2/3 in, something like that, because yeah, my arse was just hurting, or I had to stand up on the bike like this, you know, to try and stretch my legs off a little bit, even though the bend in the knee is just past 90 degrees, the bend of the hip is just over 90 degrees. There's not a long reach to the handlebars by any stretch of the imagination. So overall, the ergonomics and the way how this bike should be, it's not uncomfortable at all. It is just this seat that I have a bit of a complaint with, and unfortunately this is a bit of a common theme with quite a lot of Kawasaki bikes recently, is that their seats have been a similar kind of design to this one, where they're very hard. They don't have a lot of give, and I don't know, they're just not the best seats I've ever sat on. Oh no, you're giving up the ghost, are you, buddy? Let's tighten you up a little bit. Alright, what we'll do, we'll just pull over, we'll tighten up this camera just a little bit more, and then we'll carry on with this ride review. Tighten that down. You with me? Alright, let's keep going. So ergonomics wise, this bike is not challenged at all. Very comfy place to be, although not the best seating position for touring riding. Yeah, longer journeys on this bike are not as easy as I would have hoped. It's not a touring bike riding experience. It's a little bit more on the sportier side of sport touring, you know. Even though it doesn't have that much of a lean forward, it is slightly more aggressive than, say, a bike like that, which is more of like an adventure bike kind of ergonomic setup. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the overall feel of the bike, this is serious, man. This is a serious motorcycle from top to bottom, from tip to butt. This thing is just all performance. It's all about performance, this thing. It has the same supercharger as the Ninja H2 Super Sport. There's a little bit of confusion there because the H2 SX is also called the Ninja H2. That's not the bike I'm talking about. I'm talking about the H2, the original Super Sport H2. The H2 SX is a sport tourer. We did do a ride review of the 2024 H2 SX. I'll drop it down in the video description if you want to check that out. Another awesome motorcycle, but in comparison to this is on a whole new level. This is on a totally different level to the H2 SX. The supercharger, the power delivery is far more aggressive on this bike, and it's just, like I said, the best word I can use to describe it is mean. Like, and this is a stupidly quick bike, you guys. But before we get into that in too much detail, let's talk some specs. So this is the 2021 Kawasaki Z H2. It has a 998cc supercharged inline 4-cylinder engine, which is producing 200 horsepower and about 140 newton meters of torque there or thereabouts. And it's weighing in quite heavy, just under 230 kilograms wet. And I mean, 0 to 60 wise, this thing is one of the best. You're talking like 2.9 second, 0 to 60, maybe even a little bit quicker than that. Quarter mile, I think, is around about 10 seconds, maybe even a little bit quicker than that. This is a seriously quick bike, one of the fastest bikes in the world. And I mean, the main thing is that torque, because that supercharger delivers torque quite aggressively, at least in the way how it's set up on this bike. You feel so much power all the way from 1000 RPM all the way through to 12,000 RPM. And the thing is, this bike, the faster you go up in the RPMs, the more the supercharger is spinning, the more boost you get, the more power you get. So I mean, that's quite intimidating for a lot of people, right? This can be an intimidating motorcycle if you're not prepared for it, but I absolutely love it. I love this type of riding experience. We currently have it in the sport mode with traction control on, but we're going to do our 0 to 60 runs here. This bike does have launch control. What I'll do a couple of 0 to 60 runs without launch control, then I'll do the last one with launch control. All right, here we go. Ah! My God, it's just trying to keep that front end down, man. It's so hard. Not the smoothest 0 to 60. And remember that I don't have a stopwatch or anything here, so this all will be done in post. The quickest I've got on this is 2.9. Let's see if I can get any better than that. Here we go. Oh, you can hear that traction control kicking in quite heavily, and unfortunately it is quite abrupt on this bike. I don't particularly like the way how the traction control kind of kills the power almost immediately. Now I have got to try and remember how to start the launch control on this bike. Oh, it was so simple, man. It's the mode up and the select button. I press every single one. I press the mode and the side button here, but it's just mode up and select. All right, let's give that a go. Here we go. All right, let's put it in neutral, mode up, select. Okay, KLCM on. All right, here we go. So if we open the throttle, it's going to start bouncing out about 6,000 RPM. Here we go. Woo! I don't know about you, but it feels a bit slower with launch control. But I'm not quite so. And I'm not quite as used to using the launch control as I am just doing a launch with just the clutch and the gears. So. Yeah, I mean, we could try one more round here. I think we should have enough space, seeing as the KLCM is still on. All right. Let's have a look here. Let's see if we can be quick. All right. Here we go. We've got to try and hit the 30 sign. We've got to get 60 by the time we hit the 30 sign. All right. Here we go. Last one. Here we go. Woo! Oh, easy. Easy peasy. Now, how'd you turn it off? Is that one again? These two again? There you go. That's how you turn it off. You just hold that one and that one again. Oh, it's fun, man. Having features like that is hella fun. But yeah, they're not really things that you would use all that often. But okay, whilst we're talking about the launch control, let's talk about the techie features that this bike has got, because there are many. So let's start off first with the simple stuff. So we've got fully adjustable front forks and rear shock. We've got adjustable clutch lever, adjustable brake lever. We've got obviously the TFT full color dash. You've got this mode, and you've got another mode as well, another dashboard display. So you've got the launch control, as we mentioned already. You've got the cruise control here as well. What else? This is jam-packed with stuff. You've got ABS, you've got the well, the traction control and the wheelie control are linked together. Some people don't mind that. I don't mind that necessarily, but I know that a lot of riders prefer to have them separate. I mean, what else? It's got hazard lights, which is pretty cool. Not a lot of bikes have got hazard lights, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And I mean, to set the cruise control, you just press a little cruise control button there, and you hit set. Is it gonna? Oh, okay. Maybe not in second gear. It won't let me do it in second gear. I'll demonstrate when I get on the main road. But yeah, so you got all that. Horns down here, as you normally find it. But yeah, that's it. There's a lot of stuff on this motorcycle, and I'm sure I probably missed a few bits and pieces here and there as well. But very quick bike, very well kitted out, and not really that expensive either. I mean, I paid about 17.5, 18 grand on the road for this bike, whereas I think at the moment you're getting a 4-year Kawasaki warranty from some dealers, and I think they're going for as little as about 15 grand on the road, which is pretty damn good. All right, let's have a look at the cruise control here. Yeah, so from 4th gear, there you go. So I can set it, and yeah, I can just let go both handlebars. No, I'm joking. You can't do that. It's not autopilot. We're not there yet for motorcycles, but yeah, the bike will continue just riding itself. Let's turn that off for now. But yeah, pretty neat feature, especially on a motorcycle like this, where you can do those longer journeys. I would say that I could do a longer journey on this than I could do on a super sport like the Daytona that we've got. I could probably ride a little bit further than my ZZR as well, but yeah, all in all, a really good tech package. It still holds up to this day, even though the H2SX has got even more electronic features. It's got automatic cruise control, so it will automatically adjust your distance between you and the car in front, which is pretty neat. It's pretty cool. You don't have to keep turning on and off the cruise control whenever you want to slow down or whenever you want to speed up. You have got the buttons here, so you can increase speed and decrease speed using the buttons on cruise control. But yeah, very, very well kitted out, this bike. But let me just show you how mad this bike is. It's crazy. Most of the time you kind of need to have the traction control and the wheelie control on, because this bike will throw you off like a bucking bronco or a bull if you're not careful. It's absolutely insane how quick this bike is. And like, it's got the most torque I think I've ever felt on a motorcycle. It's got so much all the way through the rev range, because you know torque builds up usually on a motorcycle, so you get to those higher end RPMs and that's when that torque builds up. But on this bike you're getting torque all the way from the bottom all the way through, and it just gets harsher and harsher. You get more and more and more as you go up the rev range. It is insane. I used to ride this bike quite frequently without the traction control on, and full power mode. There's 3 different power modes, by the way. You've got 1, 2 and 3. 1 being the fastest, the full power mode, 3 being the slowest power mode. I mean, we might demonstrate that in a little bit. But yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. You try riding this bike without the traction control on, without the wheelie control on, it is mad. Absolutely mad. Without the tech to kind of hold the bike back. Oof. You know, I was watching a video a little while ago, I think it was on Curious Droid, and they were talking about the developments of jet engines, kind of like in the 1960s, 1970s, and basically the design of a jet changed. So the pilot could no longer fly the jet on his own. He needed the electronics in order to fly the jet, otherwise it would be far too unstable, and it would be far too unruly, and they wouldn't be able to fly it effectively. But the electronics totally evolved the way how the plane flew. and it gave the pilot so much more control in the air and on the battlefield that it was just a no-brainer. And then ever since then, the tech has kept on evolving for these jets, and there's so many sensors and electronics in between the pilot and the jet. This reminds me a lot of that. You feel like a fighter pilot, a 5th generation fighter pilot when you're riding this bike. It is insane, but insanely good. This is by far the most exciting, the most thrilling motorcycle I've ever ridden, even more than my ZR 1400, which again is an epic bike. It's an awesome motorcycle in its own right. Absolutely love that bike. It's one of the best bikes I've ever ridden. This is better, and that is saying a lot, man. I've ridden a lot of demo bikes, a lot of review bikes, and this stands out as one of, if not the best bikes I have ever had the pleasure of riding. And that's above bikes like the MT10, bikes above like the MT09, bikes above the Honda Rebel. These are all amazing motorcycles. The ZX10R even. This is better than the ZX10R, which might sound crazy to say, but trust me, if you get to have a go on a ZX10R and then have a go on this, honestly, your mind will be blown. This thing is so crazy good, so crazy fun. One thing you do have to watch out for is that there is no intercooler on this bike. For those of you that don't know, an intercooler is designed to cool down the air as it goes into the cylinders. On a turbo or a supercharged engine, that's usually the best thing to do so the pistons don't melt themselves, because the air density and the combustion gets super hot inside the cylinders. So if you overdo it on this bike, or maybe you get it flashed, you get it mapped, that is a very real thing that you have to be careful of. So if you're riding this bike at redline all the time, just be very wary that the bike doesn't start overheating or causing problems or start running a bit rough. It might well start doing that, and that's an indicator that you've overheated the pistons a little bit. The H2, the Ninja H2 and the H2R, they have intercoolers, so you don't have to worry about that so much, but that's just one way how Kawasaki were able to cut some costs on this bike, and to make it cheaper was to remove the intercooler. And it doesn't make a huge difference, you know what I mean? Totally honest, it doesn't make a huge difference to the overall riding experience of this bike. You've still got plenty of power to play with. Remember, this is a street-focused motorcycle, and for that, you will have no trouble whatsoever. And in terms of temperatures, I mean, I've ridden this bike in the depths of summer where you've got like over 30 degrees C. This bike will not go above 90 degrees C. It just won't. It's very, very good. If it does, then you might need a coolant change. But yeah, this bike runs very, very cool for the most part. So, in terms of maintenance, very straightforward, but it is quite important when you've got a turbocharged or a supercharged engine. It is quite important to do those oil changes at the manufacturer's recommended intervals, alright? Because there's a lot more going on a supercharged or a turbo engine, forced induction engines. So on a naturally aspirated one, it's not so bad, but because the oil is going to the supercharger and oil is going through a turbo, the oil can degrade a little bit quicker than it can on a naturally aspirated bike, because you don't have to, the oil doesn't have to worry about lubricating a supercharger. Alright, so do the oil changes at the recommended intervals and use decent quality oil as well. You have branded oil. Alright, I'd heavily recommend that. Currently I've got Castrol in this, and it's been absolutely perfect. But yeah, very honestly, this is a bike of the future. This is such a futuristic motorcycle. When Kawasaki first brought out the Ninja H2 back in, I think, 2015, it was so ahead of its time, and the fact that they blessed us with these derivatives, with the H2SX and the ZH2 here, is just awesome. That we get a taste of that Kawasaki heavy industries engineering. It's amazing. No other manufacturer right now has got such a successful forced induction motorcycle lineup at the moment. Only Kawasaki are doing it right now, and it is just amazing. It's such a good bike, you guys. I can't recommend this bike enough. And for 15,000 pounds on the road that you're looking to pay right now, brand new, I mean, there's so much bike for the money. So much more than what you're going to be getting on like a Fireblade Triple RSP or whatever that's going for like 25 grand, and arguably more value for money than the Ninja H2 and the H2SX. Certainly the H2SX anyway. If you care more about the riding experience more than the tech features and that tourability, then this is the bike for you. One thing that I haven't mentioned so far is fuel economy. It's not that great on the H2. It will drink fuel. I'm sure if you ride it semi-sensibly, you could get a decent fuel economy out of this. You could probably get over 40 mpg average. Me, I'm hovering around about 35 mpg average. Not great. Certainly not the worst, but not great. Not great fuel economy. But you think that because of that forced induction that you would get slightly better fuel economy, but in start-stop traffic and the way how you're going to be riding this bike day to day, yeah, you're not going to get the best fuel economy in the world. But that's not what this bike is made for, you guys. This bike was made for fun, first and foremost, and it delivers 100% on that fun factor. This thing is absolutely wicked. Over the last 4 years, we've done a load of videos on this bike, and we have a playlist. I'd heavily recommend, if you're looking to buy one of these bikes, that you check out that playlist. It will have all the information you could ever need about the Kawasaki Z H2. So yeah, if you enjoyed this ride review out with us today, then definitely go and check out all those other videos. And if you have any more questions, then of course go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below. But I think we've covered everything on this bike for today's ride review. So you guys let us know down in the comment section below if you've been following us in this bike over the last 4 years. Let us know what you think of it down in the comment section below, especially if you've owned one as well, or you own one right now. Let me know what it is that inspired you to buy it. Was it something I said? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, if you've enjoyed this ride out with us, if you've learned something, it's convinced you to buy one of these, then leave that like, hit that subscribe button down there. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, drop us a comment to help boost the algorithm so this video gets out to more and more people. I really appreciate it. Thank you ever so much for doing that for me. And yeah, I think that's everything for today, you guys. Thanks again, you guys. You take care. You ride safe. We'll catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.